Okay, hello there. I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to install archlabs Linux. Let's go to Distro Watch real quick, and you'll see on Distro Watch they had a new ISO come out on January the 19th. Let's click on archlabs there, and it says its OS type is Linux. It's based on Arch Linux, and the country of origin is New Zealand. Give a silent moment of thought and hopeful for those people on New Zealand and Australia, all around that recent volcano. So if you click on the link here, the home page link, it'll bring you here. This is where your journey will begin. If you click on Get, it'll open up the SourceForge page, and this is where you can get it. And if you click on the files and then archlabs Minimo, you'll see the releases, and this one was January the 19th, and there's the ISO. If you click on that, it'll download for you, or you can click here and it'll download for you. Under their documents right here, if you click on that, now this is probably one of the most important parts of Arch Labs. Getting to know this page right here, their GitLab IO docs information. Very nice. Tells you all kind of stuff. Introduction, application list, gives you some information about the applications that are available and are installed. All right, so that was the same thing as this. This is what I would call a good place to start. If you ever run across a problem, this is their forum page, and you could start right here looking for a problem. This is the first place I would go if I experience a problem. Somebody did have a problem back in, I believe, July of last year, 2020, so almost a year and a half ago. So this is probably way outdated. You know it is. But the same command here will probably work. And it's pacman-syy space archlabs-installer. And that will sync Pacman with the archlabs installer in their repositories, I believe. Minimize this. I got it set up in my virtual box here. I've given it 6 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2 cores of my processor. I did enable the EFI, and video memory is all the way up. We're going to use the standard graphics controller. I give it a 69.5 gigabyte hard drive. Click on Start here. First screen, you can boot to EFI, install medium. You can do it with text, reboot into the firmware, or EFI shell. If any of those work for you, that's what you need to do. archlabs is what I would call, and I believe that it is called, a TUI. It's a text user interface installer. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't just screenshot like I have with the Calamaris installers. It'd be a lot of screenshots. Might as well just include the video. Besides, this is kind of the fun part. We are logged in. So it says, to begin the installation, run installer. If you want to see what some more options are, you can go installer space -H, but I'm good. We'll probably see all of those. I'm going to set the font, make it a little larger. Let's go with 18. That's good. Keep it. This script will help you get archlabs installed and set up on your system. If you are unsure about an option, the default or most common option will be described. If it is not, the first selected entry will be the default. That's a good one to keep in mind there. So it's telling you to use your up and down arrow keys and your tab key to switch between fields. I'm going to hit enter for OK. US English there is top of the list there. I'm going to say OK. It's checking for a newer version. All right, for storage management, let's see what we got. Let's view it. We got SDA, which is the VBox hard disk, 69.5 gigabytes. We're going to run part to modify the partition layout. Choose carefully. When you mount the partitions, your data is going to be lost. It says the data may be lost. It will be. So we're going to do it ourselves and use CF disk, and this is EFI. UEFI, so I'm going to boot in or select the label type GPT. All right, first thing, free space. We're going to give this 512. Oh, good. Cap locks works. 512 megabytes, capital M. Slide over to type, hit enter, go all the way to the top, and hit highlight EFI system, press enter. I'm going to arrow key down to the new space there and hit enter. This is going to be the swap space, and I allocated 4 gigabytes of RAM, so 1.5 times of that will be 6 gigabyte. Press enter, slide over to type, go up 1 in my case, and press hit enter on Linux swap. Now we have a hard disk there. We're going to just give it, let's give it 27 gigabytes of space. It's going to be for our root drive. I'm going to hit arrow down, get that free space, and hit enter. When I'm ready, you can see at the top up there, we got the EFI system, Linux swap, and 2 partitions that we're going to use for root and home. Press right. You're going to type in the word yes, and then quit. Slide over to quit. And that should bring us back into the installer. All right, so we've done that. Let's see. We're going to go back. Now we're going to go back again. And we're going to mount partitions. It's asking the root partition, where is it going to be? We're going to say SD83. It's unformatted. Now I hope we get a chance to format it to ext4 by default, but you do have a great array of options here. We'll say OK. Format SDA3 as ext4. Mount SDA3 with the default options. That is /mount. Formatting SDA1 as EFI system. Select whether to use a swap file or swap partition or none. Well, swap partition was SDA2, so we're going to say OK. Slide down at that and say OK. Now it's wanting to know our partitions you mounted, you'll be asked to a mount point. So do we want to mount and format SDA4? We're going to do that. It's going to be ext4 again. Format it to ext4. Now next we're going to be asked for a mount point. And the / is already there, so you're going to type in home. Okay. Mount it with the usual options or default options. That is correct. Now we're looking for mirrors. So, me being in America, the US, I want to find either America or US. So it's an alphabetical order. So right there, United States. Select bootloader. Now you have several options here. The system deboot, a simple EFI boot manager which executes configured EFI images, or Grub, or refine EFI stub or systub, and the sys Linux. I'm going to go with just straight old grand boot, grand unified bootloader. So username going to be Dennis. Tab one more, password. Tab to get to the password. Tab to the second. Confirm it. Now for the root password, I think it's important to give one here, but that's an option that you do have. It says left empty, the user password will be used. Well, that's fine, but like I said, I prefer to type mine in anyway. So I'm gonna say OK. System configuration, we're going to use bash for the shell, but you do have ZSH and MKSH. We'll say OK. Now this is what the computer will be known by on a network. It's called a host name, so I'm just going to say Arch. Actually, I'm just going to make it all Arch, lowercase, lab. For some reason that don't look like it's spelled right. Arch Labs. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to select our locale, and for myself, I'm looking for English US. Oops. Right there. English _ capital US period capital UTF -8. Hit enter. Okay, time zone is country is America. So now we're going to have to find what it would be our time zone. Whoops, right there, Chicago. That's the central time zone in America. Which kernel do I want to use? The Linux kernel, LTS, Zen, or hardened? I'm just going to play it safe and go with a Linux LTS kernel here in a VirtualBox. Probably wouldn't matter a bit. So select Window Managers and or Desktop Environment. At the beginning on the on this page, Distro Watch, it lists no desktops. And that will throw you because you'll think, well, don't have a desktop, what am I going to do? But here we got i3 Gaps, OpenBox, Sway, the new dynamic tiling window manager in the vein of DWM, BSPWM, and Xmonad, which is called the DKWM window manager. The dynamic window manager, BSP window manager, LXQT, JWM, XFCE. Now I'm going to use my space bar and select that one. I don't know, but I suspect you could install as many of these as you wanted, or at least to a small limit. All right, so XFCE4 is what I want. I'm going to press OK. How do I want to log in? I want to use LightDM. Select additional packages. Now, you only get one shot at this. And if you're doing this on real hardware, take your time and go through this. I'm not going to get a lot. I am going to get Bass DeVille for sure. Blues and all that stuff. Audacious music player. I'm not going to really need anything in this VM, but now's the time to get it. Chromium. Clementine. There's a lot of stuff in this list. Like I said, take your time. I will get Firefox. GIMP, Git, GNOME calculator, GNOME disk, GNOME system monitor, and Gparted. We'll get those. Like I said, this will be your only list to select from. Not that you can't get the rest of them anytime you want to after the install, but for now, I'm just going to get a few. There's Nano. Personally, I use Nano. Let's just get the Noto fonts. PCman FM. QBitTorrent, I would get that. Simple screen recorder, simple scan, Terminator, another terminal, Thunar, that's going to come in by default. Transmission, some more fonts, Vim, VLC. XFCE terminal should come in by default, but I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. So should the X archiver. All right, now I'm going to tab to OK and press enter. Enter post install commands to run. Not really, I'm just going to reboot. View installation configuration. Now here, if you press enter, it's going to show you everything it's wanting to do. This option right here is a little, I don't know what you would call it, but it's misleading to me. It says confirm choice and complete install. So I guess when you press enter here, you are confirming the choices, and the complete install will now begin. And this is going to take a little while. Let me go back to my notes before I pause the video. It's going to install Arch and then all the Xorg stuff and then the desktop. So the desktop will be last. So Arch-based, Arch Labs is an Arch-based Linux distribution inspired by Bunsenlabs Linux, which we already talked about that. Here's their websites and links and such, and I'll go ahead and put those in the descriptions, I'm sure, or titles. And the baph was updated. I saw where it said application list. No, where was that? Applications list. Oh, I know it was latest news. Well, how come I can't click on it? Release notes. That's what I'm looking for. Click on the release notes. And here it says baph has got an update, and you'll see what that is here in a little while. But it basically added these two options. baph stands for the basic AUR package helper. And to me, it acts and it does just like Yay or any of those others would do. It seems to be a very solid system. Now, I did see where you could install Yay or another AUR helper if you'd like, but I wouldn't do it unless there was some reason for it. Baph seems to work just fine. We get installed here, we'll run some sort of command and see. We'll run a search and maybe even install something. All right, so Wikipedia, Arch Labs, right here is their link for that. OpenBox link for that if you wanted to look at OpenBox that it's going to come with in the background. All kind of links and stuff. Here's that one about talking about if you do encounter a problem. Let me check that. Seems to be running just fine. pacman-SYY, which will sync archlabs-installer. All right, here's the forums to get help. There's one to get the baph installer there. Tells you some more about it. The title. Now, this is a quote, and this is probably the most important part of this video. This is a quote straight out of, let me just open that up. No, you got it right here. https wiki.archlinux.org title AUR helpers _ helpers. This is a quote straight from that page. It says, warning, usage of graphical AUR helpers may lead to a defective system. Enough said. But for example, through unintended partial upgrades. I can understand if you ever watch Mr. Esnick's channel over there, he does not like AUR helpers and such. And there's a good reason right there to validate that. So thank you, Mr. Esnick. So these links and such will get in the titles or the description down below. I'm going to close this out, see where we're at here. We're downloading XFCE stuff, light DM stuff, so it's not going as slow as I thought it would, but it's still got quite a ways to go, I do believe. Let's see what it starts to install here. XFCE, so it's not that far, I don't think, because like I said, it installs all the base stuff first, then the Xorg stuff, and then whatever desktop or desktop and packages that you selected. I really enjoy this installer. There is several other TUIs. I believe it's that one called ArchFi. There's an ArchFi installer. It reminds excuse me, it reminds me a little bit of that. However, it's a lot simpler, and I think just the intermediate user will have no problems understanding what he's doing here. Now, Grub Install. All right, so I'm going to pause the video, and I'll be back when this is finished or closer to finished. Seemed no sooner than I paused it was basically installing Grub and finished. Let's see, finished. We can exit the installer and reboot. We can change any of the configuration files, the sudoer file. We can run make init cpio again if we wanted to, I believe. We could check the Etsy at the FS tab, pacman.conf. I think we're just going to boot right into this because the TUI installer does require a little more time. And it bypassed the ISO right off the bat. There's your Grub screen. Good, I don't have to remove the ISO. Well, I do. I'm going to. Let me just left click on it, untick it, force unmount. Not going to know, I don't think. All right, let's see what we got as far as graphics go. Log in, that's our light dim. XFC is light. Look at there, it's a different wallpaper. We got the volume muted. We're going to undo that. Let's see, do I need to do anything about the Uh-oh. I know how to fix that. Fix that right off the bat. Let's go to settings, go to display, and see if we got any decent options here. If not, I'll change that graphics. Let's go to 920 1080p, full screen. Let's keep it. Go right Control F to get in full screen. Please don't show me that again. I thought I ticked that before. All right, we're going to close this out. Bingo, there's what you get when you install Arch Labs. And I really like the way they've customized this. Let's see what kind of desktops they do have real quick. Not desktops, wallpapers. There's an older one right there. That's an older one. That is too. That's the one they used to use, I believe. So there's really, I don't see them. Wonder if it's somewhere else. Their backgrounds. Nope. We'll just have to close that out. Here you can add your icons if you want to. I always like to see my trash can. That's kind of a thing from my Windows days. I don't know why I put that there. As soon as I change the resolution, it'll fit. You got a button there, icon to be easy enough to change. I don't know. Appearance button. Click on that. Usually takes a long time to open, but you can easily change that up there if you wanted to, and name it as well. Let's look through their menu real quick. I was pretty sparse on what I asked for, so what we're going to get here, let's see, GNOME disk, I did ask for that. What we get here is primarily what you're going to get for a basic install. PCman FM, I installed that too. Light DM will come in. Nitrogen, that changes your background, so you'd get that by default. PyCom, an X compositor, sensor view, software token, task manager, X archiver, and XF burn. Under graphics, all we get is something to watch or look at photographs, which you, like I said, you can easily add. Firefox, I asked for. Multimedia, I didn't ask for any of this. I don't think. Dictionary and Office. Settings, we got the array of normal, typical. Uh-oh. Tried to drag that out. Oh. Cut. There we go. There we go. System monitor, I did ask for that as well. Under system resources, right now it's saying we're using 784 megabytes of the 4 gigs of RAM that I allocated. We're not getting into our swap at all yet. Not really doing anything. Close that out. Here's PCman FM, the file browser. And close that out. Here's GNOME disk. About disk. GNOME disk utility. And there's our hard drive. So I think in order to keep this video short, really, I'm going to have to, I'll put a lot of this stuff into, let's see, does Control-Alt-T give me a terminal? Whoops, does not. It's all right, I know how to fix that, I believe. Let's see, make it a little bigger. Nope, yep, just a delay there. So let's just start with some basic stuff here. Let's go uname R. That gives us the kernel, which LTS is the one I selected. 5.15.15. Let's see. Disk free. On an fresh install, it used 4.9 gigabytes of room. That's not bad at all. Okay, so let's see, BAPH hyphen, let's go S for search and say Nomax. Now I know this is available in their regular repositories, but I want to see it look. You see it did look, and it's got Nomax Git in the repository, if regular Nomax. Let's see, pacman, pacman hyphen capital S lowercase s Nomax. This will be in the regular repositories. and you see it's just regular Nomax here. So for some reason, if you want to you can get it, or you can use the regular Nomax. Let's see, by going in full screen, I can't see my notes on baph, but I think if we just go baph space hyphen H and hit enter, we'll get a pretty good description of what it does. Basic AUR package helper, baph, along with the operation, the option, and the targets. I showed you that a while ago on the targets. This is more options here. You could install packages. -U is update a package. SYU is probably, or I'm sorry, I don't know if there's a way to do all of the package. I'm not seeing that output count opens. You know, like yay hyphen SYU will update all of the software that it gets from the AUR. So you can see here you got a lot of, you do have a lot of options. Q to get out of that, or baph, instead of using yay. And yay is not going to be installed at all. Let's see. Nope, yay command. And like I said, I did read that you could install another AUR helper if you are not happy with baph for some reason or another. I think this is great. I think this is awesome. and it's got all the common preferences. It's got all the common functionality of any other Arch Linux distribution. Move the panel, add to the panel. Very easy to do any of that. Add the panel, go over here and right click and say move, come over here and find that red line, and there it is. Left click, and there it is. So that's going to do it for Arch Labs. Arch Labs, man, give it a shot. Again, if you're really interested in an Arch Linux distribution and you're not happy with something else, try it. It seems to be really nice. Okay, thanks for watching. Peace out, guys. We'll catch you on another video. Bye.